Hi, Hal. Thanks for joining the SAP workflow online demo session. Today we are going to discuss about the SAP workflow. Okay, so first of all, we'll discuss about the SAP workflow introduction. Then we'll discuss about the SAP workflow architecture and SAP. What are the basic configuration in SAP workflow, and what are the functionalities available in SAP Business Workplace. So these are the topics that we are going to discuss today. And after that, as part of the SAP workflow online training, what are the topics that you are going to cover? So all those things we can discuss here. Okay. So before going to start the demo session and topics, let me explain what is the workflow. Workflow is nothing but a flow of work. All steps are required to accomplish a given task. Okay, in SAP terminology, what is meant by SAP business workflow? SAP business workflow is nothing but automation of the business process in SAP, and like documents, informations, or tasks are passed from one agent to another agent for an action according to the set of procedural rules defined in SAP system. That in SAP ERP, ECC, or in CRM, or SRM, or BA system. So based on the configuration, based on the procedures, automatically data should flow from one agent to other agent. So that is called SAP business workflow. Generally, why companies will implement the SAP workflows? To improve the speed of the business process, to improve the consistency of the business process, to improve the quality of the business process, to increase the transparency of the business process, to improve the process monitoring, like deadline monitoring and all. Okay. So what are the features available in SAP workflow? From the developer point of view, there is a graphical editor in SAP workflow. By using this graphical editor, we can design a workflow as per the requirement. We can design the templates, we can design the workflows as per the requirement. We can integrate the SAP workflow with Network Portal, EP, and WBC. Okay, and we have a functionality called deadline monitoring. By using the deadline monitoring, we can implement the escalation procedure. Let's say, for example, one manager is not available to approve the work item. We can send it to next level manager for approve that work item. So that is called deadline monitoring. So the deadline monitoring we can implement in the workflow. Okay, integration with other products like Outlook, Lotus Notes, Gmail, and other email functionalities. So whenever any request is triggered, automatically that request or work item or email, we can send it to other email Outlook, other email products also, like Outlook, Lotus Notes, Gmail. And in SAP workflow, there are standard reports. By using the standard reports, we can see the complete graphical log. Graphical log in the sense like when the employee raises a request. So when the employee raises it, whether it is triggered correctly or not, is there an error, whether it is reached to a correct agent or not, so whether agent is taking action or not. So all these things we can see in the detailed reports. Those reports are available in the SAP workflow. By using those standard reports, we can see the complete log. So these are the features available in the SAP workflow. That is the reason most of the companies will go for the SAP workflow implementation. Okay, so finally, generally to implement any product or anything, we need some architecture. So here in SAP workflow, architecture is have three layers. Basically, organizational model, business object model, and business process and business object model, business object. So in organizational model, most of the time the SAP HR is, if SAP HR is implemented in that project, then organizational model will take care of the providing the hierarchy in the sense, let's for example, when employee raises a request, the work item should go to which employee for approve, which agent for approve the work item. So that hierarchy will be defined in the SAP HR system. Suppose SAP HR is not implemented, then the projects will implement the agents in the custom tables. They use the tables to approve they will maintain the tables with the agents user IDs and mail IDs Then we will use that tables to get the agents into the workflow. So here organizational model will play the key role to identify the agent workflow. Okay, that comes under first level. Business process. Business process is nothing but a whatever the scenario that we are going to implement in a workflow, implement in the system, that business process will be defined by their core business owners, the project core business owner, end users and super users, including with functional consultant. So they'll define a process and they will prepare a blueprint. They'll prepare a function spec. So based on the function spec and blueprint, about SAP above workflow consultant job will start from here. So we'll check the business object layer whether the scenario is possible to implement or not. If it is possible, then what are the inputs that we require from the functional consultant? We will check here whether any standard workflows are available or not in the system. If they are available, then most of the time standard workflows will not suitable for our requirement. Then we will copy those workflows and we'll implement as per the requirement. So most of the time, as a workflow consultant, as a developer, our job will start from here, business object layer. Okay, so these are the three important layers. So without these three layers, we cannot able to implement any workflow. Okay, it's a graphical architecture. You can see organizational model will come here. In the organizational model, in the organizational level, we will have the organizational units, positions, cost centers, work centers. Right. In the process level, and this is a process like when the request is raised, whom should approve. Based on the hierarchy, will define the process. In the business object level, in the business object, we'll have the methods, attributes, events. So these methods, attributes we will use in the workflow while designing the template based on the requirement. And a sample workflow design. Like you can see the business object, business workplace, workflow design, tasks, business object repository. These are the we can call it this dialect we can call it as a work item. Okay, we can see background methods automatically it will execute when the user executed the work item. So it's again is based on the requirement. We will design this graphical log. Design this graphical template. Okay, and if you are working in a new implementation project as a workflow consultant job, as a workflow consultant, you have to check the SW3 configuration. That is SAP workflow basic configuration. If it is a new project, then you have to check the SW3 whether the RST destination and the number ranges is configured or not. Okay, this is the basic step and the starting step. We have to start from here. Suppose if it is a new client, a new system, then you have to do this configuration with the help of the basic step. Suppose if already you are working in a support project, you don't need to do this. It's already configured in the system. You directly can work on the scenarios itself. Okay. Suppose if it is a new project, then basic thing is you have to check the SW3 configuration. You have to check the RFC destination, and you have to check the maintain number ranges. These are the mandatory steps in the workflow to start the development. Okay, all this topic I'll explain detail when we discuss about the topic. At present, I just explain the important things. Okay, and SAP Business Workplace. SAP Business Workplace is nothing but a SAP inbox. In SAP side, SAP ECC R3, SAP ECC CRM SRM system, we will call it as a SAP inbox. We can use the transaction code SBWP to call that inbox. In portal side, we will call it as a UWL. So whatever the work item it is available in the SBWP, the same work item will be available in the portal side. Both will be in sync always. So suppose if you approve the work item in the portal, automatically it will disappear from the inbox. So always portal and R3 will be in sync. Okay, but only thing is you can navigate the SAP inbox by using the transaction code, and you can also go from the SAP Easy Access menu. And when it comes to the UWL, you have to use the portal to enter into the UWL. Okay, so these are the basic things. So as part of the SAP workflow online training, what are the topics that I'm going to cover it? Okay, introduction to SAP workflow. What is the SAP business workflow functionality? Where do we use the workflows? What are the features of SAP workflow? and important technology. And the other topics are like SAP business workflow architecture. As a detailed explanation, I will give you again what is the organizational model, what is the process level, what is the business object level. And when it comes to SAP workflow business, SAP workflow basic configuration, what are the maintain runtime definition, what are the maintain runtime environment settings, what are the maintain definition settings, how to set up the RST destination in SW3, how to set up the workflow administrator, what are the background scheduling jobs in SW3, how to maintain the prefix numbers, what is the deadline model. So these are the basic things, but we have to do in the, if you are working in implementation project, these steps are very much required. If you are working in implementation, fresh implementation project, then you have to set up all these things. If you are working already in the support project, you don't need to do all these things. Okay, so these are all, I will show you practically in the system how to configure all these things. As part of the SAP workflow online training, so basically we need to learn these are the steps: activity, send mail, user design, conditions, multiple conditions, container operation, loop, fork, event creator, process control step, and how to create a template, how to create a custom task, how to create a task groups. These are the basic and important topics in the workflow. So if you learn how to use the steps, how to create the steps, then you can create any you can develop any kind of workflow. So these all these topics and all these steps and activities I'll give you. We'll discuss we discuss in detail, and I'll show you every scenario for each and every activity. Okay. So generally, to implement a workflow, we need an agent. How many types of agents we have in the workflow? How to get these agents? So these are the agent types. What is mean by possible agent? What is mean by permitted agents? What is mean by excluded agents? What is mean by selected agents? Okay, so these are the agents basically we'll use in the workflow to approve the work item. Okay, so these are all detailed we can discuss in the agent when we discuss about the topic agents, and what are the ways to get the agent in a simple workflow. Generally, designing is different, and getting the agents into workflow is different. Like we have to again use the code to get the agent into the SAP business object or SAP. Again, we will use the business object methods, attributes, classes, roles, task roles to get the agents. So here, these are the topics that we will cover in the agents to cover in the agents topic. Like when we discuss about the how to get the agents and all, that time we will cover how to create a rule, how to simulate the rule, how to handle exception handling, how to use the rule candidate, how to bind the rule. So these are topics that we'll cover in the rules topic. Okay, and how to use the organizational model. So generally, we can use the workflow agents dynamically, as well as we can use the organizational level. Generally, I mean, if you take example of CRM workflows, most of the time CRM workflows will be assigned to a particular organizational unit. That organization they will assign the agents based on some conditions, company code, some work center, cost center. So that is static. It's a different way of assigning the agents to the workflow. So these topics also, like I will explain in detailed way, like when we discuss about the organizational model. Okay, how many types of containers in workflow? Containers in this task container, workflow container, event container, rule container, method container. So these are the topics. These topics we can discuss in detail in the workflow. Okay, and the business object repository. So basically, our most of the time standard SAP workflow will not suitable for our requirement, right? So that time we'll copy the standard business object into custom business object, and we'll delegate by using the standard business object. So at that time we may get a chance to create our own attributes, our own methods, our own events, and we can create multiple types of methods: synchronous methods, background methods, foreground methods, right? So these topics in detail we'll discuss in the business objective repository topic. And what is the workflow programming? Workflow programming is nothing but how to create a BOR, how to call the workflow programmatically, how to implement the workflows in the user exit level, how to call a BDC, how to implement in a call transaction, how to call a transaction in the method. So these are all topics we can cover in the workflow programming. And the main and important topic is workflow binding. Generally, we can learn all these things like how to create a step and all, but main thing is binding the workflow from from the workflow global container to task container to method container to again uh, rule container. These are all topics that we need to learn by using the workflow binding topic. Okay. What is the deadline monitoring? Deadline monitoring is nothing but whenever employee raise a request, it should be approved by the manager within a specified time, right? So that topic we can discuss in the deadline monitoring concept. And what is a business workflow functionality? Like SAP inbox. In SAP inbox, there are functionalities like how to approve the work item, how to resubmit the work item, how to reserve the work item, how to forward one agent to other agent, how to reply, how to attach the document while approving from the in your inbox. These are the topics we can cover in the business subject workflow, business SAP business workflow. Okay, and how to test the workflows. These are how to check the workflow log, how to check the SAP workflow standard log, how to check the technical log. Okay, so generally when once the workflow is completed, then we should know like how to check the whether the workflow went successful or whether the data is coming properly or not. Suppose if we any workflow get into error mode, but how to check that error in the container level. So these are all things you learn while testing the workflow in the development system. Okay, and how to trigger the workflow events. Basically, to implement any topic, any scenario, any scenario, we should check whether that scenario is possible to implement or not. So that triggering concept we will check in the event log. Okay, those topic will be checking the event log concept. We'll see all these things. Okay, and what are the workflow administration concept? Generally, how to forward the work item. And generally, this topic will comes to the production system. But as part of the workflow training, I will cover all these things: how to forward the work item to one agent to other agent, how to implement the subsystem functionality, how to delete the work item, how to archive the work item, how to execute the work item, how to change the container values in the workflow log, how to restart the workflow, how to unlock the workflows, admin tools. There are many topics as part of the SAP workflow administration. So those are all topics will be covered in this topic. And finally, to implement any scenario, how to estimate the workflow object based on the scenario complexity and all, how to estimate it, how to prepare the blueprint, how to prepare the technical spec, how to prepare the unit test cases. Generally, in development, will give one or two user IDs, right? So even we have the limited user IDs, limited test cases, how to test the workflow in development system. These are all things I will cover. And as well as I'll take one example of travel request or travel expense workflow. I'll show you all these topics. And other than that, if you have any specific topics, specific scenarios, I can cover on that. Okay. So this is my website, sapworkflowtraining.com. Thanks for attending the session. If you have any questions, please call. We can discuss.